Hi everyone, it's Ian from DIY Home and Gardening. Another DIY video today on fitting a Venetian blind. So probably easier if I just turn the camera around and start you off at the beginning. So what we've done now is we've had the lower reveals, had another section of plasterboard put on to get rid of the space at the top. And then we've had these window walls, for a better term, I can't think of one, re-skimmed afterwards and beaded sort of all around the joints. So we've got rid of, at the same time, we've got rid of the old nasty blinds that we had for a little while, and the curtains, and in their place going to put up some Venetian blinds. So this one's quite a big one, but bear with me and I'll go and show you the one that I've just fitted. So there you can see that's another bedroom. So I literally just fitted this blind, nice and simple. So thought I would show you how to fit the other one. This is how the blinds come. They come in a big cardboard box, as you would expect, and they're off fittings. That's one set of drawstrings, the other set's the other way, which shows me straight away that I need to turn the units round because the strings should be facing into the room. The blinds themselves have come from I think it's webblinds.com, which is essentially an online version of Hillary blinds, but rather than someone coming to fit them at whatever cost and doing however they fit it, these ones you measure your window yourself, you know, your dimensions, your drop and your span, and then order the type of blind that you want and they make it for you, and then you just fit it. So yeah, that's the simple blurb on where I got them from. Let me just turn the fitting round and then I'll run it through for you. So as I said, so these are the different components. So we just need to untuck those. And I already did the other end. So what I should say is this opening here is just over 8 foot. So probably to put it up, I will need a bit of a hand. But for the time being, here we go. There's the components for you. So having just done one, I can kind of explain what the bits are. So these random looking things, they're an end cap, so they go onto there, so we just need to push those in. So I will need, well, my second hand for that, but that's where they go. Then these fittings go that way up, and you can either screw them so that these fittings here are onto a wall like so, or you screw through here. So you just need, for that you just need to turn the bracket that way to make your holes, and so this becomes the top. So the actual bracket sits like that onto the ceiling. So that's as simple as that comes. These wall plugs come with it. They're 6.5mm in diameter, so that is the size of masonry drill bit that you require. It comes with screws, so yeah, which are there. So you will need a cross-headed screwdriver. What I found useful on the other one, well, actually it's always useful, but spirit level, just to check the uprightness of your window and check that it's level. Hammer, in case you need to knock in the wall plugs. Tape measure. Set square, obviously drill and relevant size drill bit. Pencil and crosshead screwdriver. And if you're using your drill into masonry, just a pair of ear defenders. Essentially that's it. A little bit of thinking and a little bit of time. So yeah, let's get the end caps on first and then we'll go through marking out. So as I say, they literally just push in, you just need a little bit of force on those. So once you got the end caps on, I always think it's a good idea to just lay it out on the window. I've already done this prior to filming anyway, but just to make sure that once you've got the end caps on, that it still actually fits within the space that you've got to play with. And either by yourself or with someone else, just lift it so that you take it full height so that it can then sit onto the top here to again make sure that it will, it's going to be narrow enough that you'll have movement when you come to drop the blind down. Right, so here's where your spirit levels come in. So just check the uprightness of your wall. So you can see that's nice and spot on there. That's good. I hope so, having just had a plasterer do it. Doesn't say a lot. And same with there, nice and straight. So that's good. So we know that from front to back, we haven't got to worry too much about offsetting the blind. And with the big spirit level, I'm not using this for level itself. I'm just checking to see whether there's any significant undulations when you're looking across the top, to see whether one side sticks out further than the other. So that's essentially what I'm using the spirit levels for, just as guide really. So now we know that the whole of this front window reveal is level. We know that we can accurately take some measurements from the front rather than working from the back forward. Just makes it easier. Right, so I've got the blind back on the floor, just makes things easier. I've got the spirit levels out of the way. Again, we just want a nice clear area. Clean workplace is a safe workplace, as they say. So we need to now work out where these brackets are going to be positioned. So when you're looking at it, you've got to imagine that's where the bracket is going to sit, and then when you lock it in position, you just push that round to lock it in place. For the time being, you need to have enough space so that you're going to be able to actually get it on. So in order to do that, you need to work out your measurements. Likewise, you want to have it balanced on both sides so it looks good. So there, if we set it in 20 centimeters from that side, we know that it's going to clear that mechanism quite comfortably. So we just go over to the other side and check that 20 centimeters would also give us clearance, which it will do, because 20 centimeters would be our finishing side, so to speak. So that's what we need to do. We need to set it up and we need to draw a marking that is 20 centimeters from that side of the wall coming backwards. If you go a little bit further, it doesn't matter, but we don't want to be any less than 20 centimeters. Right, so to give myself a little bit of leeway, I've gone for 20.5 centimeters in from the wall, and mark the same on that side. So that's those markings done. Next, I then want to come in. Let me try and get that zoomed in for you. I then want to come in 2 centimeters roughly from the outside edge. So that's what I'll do now, is just mark that in. Okay, so we've done our markings. So this line here represents 2 centimeters in from the face of the window, or the window reveal. So that's going to be our finishing line essentially for where the blind will sit, coming across ways. And that little line there, which we'll need to extend, is our 20.1/2 centimetre measurement that comes from this external window section, wall, can't think of another word, to the outmost section of where the bracket's going to be. So as I say, we just need to extend that line. So because you know that the face of the window is nice and square, that's what I say, it makes it easier because you can now put a set square on there, and all that does is it just enables you to line up with that marking that we did, and then using your pencil just extend it further. But obviously I can't do that with one hand holding a camera and one hand holding a set square, so I need to put the camera down. That line's been extended by about 5 centimetres, which is essentially about the length of one of these brackets. Right, I'm back with you. Had to change hands. Okay, so we got our line, we got our front marking, and essentially that line allows us to line this up to sit front and along the line to make sure that it will all be nice and square. We can set that up like so, and then using your other hand you just want to make a pencil mark in the front. Let's move this down so you can see. Helps if I open it the right way. You can then use your pencil to make a mark in the centre of that hole and the centre of that hole, obviously on your ceiling. So I'll just do that and show you. That's the markings. So those two dots there will line up with your holes there. So that's where we'll be drilling at this stage, and even on your marking stage, don't be afraid to ask for someone to help you if you need it. It is a bit fiddly, and if you haven't done it before, then it can be a little bit daunting, and sometimes, you know, all of us just need someone else to, well, ask, just to check that you're doing it right, because you don't want to drill all the holes, which is our next stage, and find you've put the holes in the wrong spot. So like I say, that's our next stage. So set up your drill. For masonry, ideally you want to have it set on your hammer setting, so that would go through much easier, and then you'll be wanting 4 of these, so 2 for either side, and 4 of the screws, and that's that. So ear defenders on, let's get some holes drilled. Right, before we start drilling, what I would say, so your masonry bit that you're using in the drill has a slight point to it. Get that point on your pencil marking, that way you know that you're going to be drilling central and exactly where you want it to be. Try and hold your drill in a position that is vertical. So therefore, if you hold it at an angle either way or front to back, your screw hole is going to be at an angle, and it'll be an absolute pain to then get your fitting up properly. So get it up nice and use your drill nice and square to the hole, and then it will be easy-ish. Right, that's the first couple of holes drilled for that side. Just got to do the other side. So you will get dusty. Don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world. Right, we've done the screw holes that side, or drill holes. So get your drill out of the way. You don't need it now. Right, rule plugs. So push them in. These little wings hold them in place, stop them coming out. Sometimes you can push them in, other times you might need a hammer just to help get them in. So that's one side, now same on the other. Okay, so we've got the raw plugs in place. We're now in a position to get these screwed in. It's easy, or easier, if you put the screw in first, and then you can just sort of line it up with the hole and then screw it in. Otherwise, if you do it in reverse, you've then got to hold the bracket in place and try and line it up whilst you get a screw in, and for some reason it just seems more awkward. So let me just start it off and I'll show you. There we are. So we've just started it up. I've started it off. Just use your screwdriver to turn it up. Do a little bit on the back screw, then do the same on the front, and just keep doing that so that way you'll get it in so it's nice and square until it's up but not tight. And then at that point, when it's like this, you can then just wiggle it fractionally if you need to just get it tighter over to the line, or one way or the other. You've got a couple of millimeters worth of play, which doesn't sound a lot, but it can be just enough to make sure that it gets in nice and square. Like so. So that's the first one done. Now we repeat the same process on the second bracket. Okay, so I got both the brackets up, nice and tight, nice and square. If you want to check if they're square to the window, then you can always put your set square on here and check that they are straight. Make sure that, to make it easy on yourself, make sure that these brackets are turned as far out as they can do. If you got it like that in your essentially locked position, you're not going to be able to get the blind up very easily. It's at this stage, the hanging stage, that you need to get some assistance and another pair of hands. Right, we're now in the stage of putting the blind in position. So we've got it so it just sits with inside the brackets there. You push it up so it's nice and snug. Just hold in the middle. I've got an assistant with me, and essentially you now just have to push the bracket piece around. Keep pushing until it's pushed in nice and tight. Keep pushing. Push, push, push. That's it, until you hear that click. And then it's the same on the other side, which just needs pushing in. So again, push until you hear it click. That's it, clicked. And that is the blind sitting upright, or sitting up I should say. Now you just want to take the packaging off of the two sets of cords. Right, so we've unwrapped two sets of cords, hanging freely, not tangled up. This one here that's got the, how many cables it's got? 5 cables. That's the section that just allows the blind to go up or down. He says, just need to unhook it. That's it. So I just need to unhook it and allow the blind to come down. Trying to do it one-handed. And then you pull it the other way just to lock it in place. There we are. Right. So that's that set up. And then you then have these two cords, which allows you to tilt one way or the other. So that's all that set up. So what you will notice on this side here, that is the side that controls the height, because it's a string that moves up and down. Under UK law, well certainly UK law, I'm not sure if it's a European law, but it should be a fixed in position so it can't cause possible strangulation. So for that you have this little butterfly fixing that essentially you want to have it positioned on your wall so it's high enough up that a small child can't get to it. So I sort of tend to think that around about 5 foot off the ground tends to be sufficient. Again, just use your pencil, mark the centre of that and drill your hole and fix it using your rule plug and screw just the same way that you've fitted the blind with. So that's what I'll do now. As I say, so that's been drilled, and then you can literally just screw it in. Don't worry about the fact that it's turning at the moment, it makes no odds. Screw it in, keep screwing it, all the time in the world. And then it wants to be in an upright position, so he says before you screw it in so tight you can't turn it, get it so it's upright or vertical, however you want to put it. Screwdriver out the way, warning ticket. Essentially that's what you want to have a read of. That's what I've just told you. So you know, young children can be strangled by loops, etc, etc. Don't tie cords together. Cords may become wrapped around the child's neck. So we've read read your instructions, don't take my word for it. Now, instruction bit off, and then that wraps round as a figure of 8 and ideally looped like so. And all that's left to do is just have a bit of a hoover, tidy up my mess, and that's it. One set of blinds done in not very long, however long this video is essentially. So all that's left to say is thanks for watching the video. Hope you found it useful. This is essentially a video that could save you a lot of money if you can fit your own blinds, curtains, that sort of thing. Yeah, any questions or messages, then please send them to me and I'll do my best to answer them for you. Keep subscribing if you like what I'm doing. Don't forget to hit that reminder button so you don't miss out on future videos that I'm doing. And yeah, just keep having fun, doing stuff in the garden, doing stuff on the home, and yeah, just have a go. If you're not sure what to do, ask someone. You know, don't be afraid to ask for a bit of help from time to time. There's plenty of people who have skills that can help you.